Hello and welcome to episode 84 of the Movie Bros podcast. We're your hosts, Duncan and Hayden, brothers that pick a movie, watch that movie, discuss, ramble, banter, argue, dissect about said movie, and then post it for you fine folk to listen to. This is a podcast that covers all genres, all eras of movies. The podcast is on Spotify, it is on YouTube, it is on Instagram at the movie_bros. That's what this is. That's who we are. Hello. If I missed anything, Hayden, let me know.
Nope, I believe that's it. Yeah, make sure to like us, follow us, subscribe to us, share us, tell us to your friends, and we're going to get right into our movie. This week we are talking about The Chronicles of Riddick from 2004, specifically the extended unrated version, and yes, there is a difference. Again, this movie is 22 years old, which is insane to think about, because I think I literally saw this in theaters.
I
Regardless,
didn't. There's no way.
I remember Dad having to tell the ticketing person that it was fine with him because this is rated R. I definitely couldn't have bought tickets myself. I think I had to be brought in with a
Sure.
parental
This is also
person.
a time where you had to buy tickets in person. There was no online ticketing.
Yeah, it's very true. What a bygone era.
Yeah, kind of miss it.
I mean, a little bit actually. I mean, I don't know. I've actually thought about that a lot. I go back and forth, but regardless. So this is written and directed by David Twohy. That's Twohy, and based upon characters created by Jim and Ken Wheat, who had written the previous film Pitch Black. This stars in the titular role of Vin Diesel, as well as Colm Feore, Thandie Newton, Carl Urban, Alexa Davalos, Linus Roach, featuring Judi Dench, Yorick Van Weigenhagen, and Nick
Wagenhagen?
Chinlud, as well as Keith David and Mark Gibbon. I was gonna say, oh, and you would know David Twohy from this, and this. It's literally just the Pitch Black franchise. He has done almost nothing else. I mean, he did Pitch Black, Slam City, Chronicles of Riddick, and then Riddick. He has not branched out all that much.
He found his niche. He found his thing he
Sure.
likes to do.
And he is currently filming Riddick Furia, so they are planning on making another one, allegedly. This is music here is by Graham Revell, and he's been around forever, done a ton of different stuff, some more notable things. So obviously all the Riddick stuff, as well as Pineapple Express, The Ruins, both the Grindhouse movies, The Fog, both Sin City movies, the Ben Affleck Daredevil, the original Dune, and both Lara Croft movies. He's been around forever, done a ton of different stuff. And something that he's composed for that we've previously reviewed is he did the music for Titan AE, which is an episode probably an entire year ago, so you'll have to scroll to find that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. Cinematography here is by Hugh Johnson, and he has also not done a whole lot and has also not done anything since 2011, but his other projects include G.I. Jane,
Yikes.
Aragon, and something called A Line in the Sand. Interesting enough, though, he didn't do either of the other two Riddick movies. That's someone else. He was brought on just for this one. And that is kind of all I have.
Well, I did take some notes for this movie. I did not take a ton of notes, to be honest.
I mean, I have some mental stuff I want to touch on specifically, but not a whole lot.
Well, first we should start with our ratings. And I think if you're new, obviously you're new and you don't know this. If you're not new, you've heard this a couple times and you know this by now, but our ratings are not unilateral. It's not if it's a 5-star movie, that could mean it's actually a good movie, or it could mean it's a lot of fun, but it's not a good movie. So
I feel like
our ratings are this is one of those movies. I'm just going to preface the like just you might say, oh, you rated this, but you rated this other movie this. That doesn't make any sense. You're right. It
so
doesn't make any
Justin
sense.
like let's say both of us come back and we say, "Oh, this is a 5 out of 5." That doesn't mean we think it's as good as the first Knives Out. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, there's some subtext there that you might need to read into. Either way, so my rating for this, I gave this a 3.5 out of 5,
That's fair.
which yeah, I'll give you reasons afterwards. But what did you give it?
I gave it a 4 out of 5, honestly.
Which I think
Specifically the extended version.
yes, I think if you, it's like broy nerdism if for without explaining that anymore. Like it's a lot of fun. It's kind of fast and furious, but if it was also sci-fi in a kind like it kind of gives me kind of similar vibes in a lot of ways. But I like that. And so if you look at the like quote unquote trilogy, Pitch Black is much more. It's not as expansive. It's much more like a singular thriller sci-fi movie. Whereas this is, I mean, and you and I watched a bit of the behind the scenes, and they literally said like, "Oh, we wanted to take this and go an entirely different direction and see if we could still make it work." And I think for the most part, they make it work. But it is
I
they
do think that
really
it
go
is
hard.
I think it's impressive that they were able to take essentially what is a de facto Stallone action character
To
and
yeah,
make
to a
it
certain degree,
into a space opera. Like to pivot from like I like Pitch Black. That is not
it's
a
good.
very stylish or
No,
like
this is way more
visually
stylish.
impressive movie. I mean, obviously, yes, it takes place at in the dark all the time, but like it is so impressive that they managed to turn that into this.
And if you, it's funny. Like yes, it clearly connects to the first one, and obviously the third one is the continuation. Sure, but like you could. A lot of people like you don't need to really watch Pitch Black to really watch this. You can kind of watch this on its own.
I mean, absolutely. And I would also say that like it's almost better if you don't watch Pitch Black first because if you watch Pitch Black and then expect to see more of that and you don't know what you're in
Mm-hmm.
for with this, you might
Sure.
genuinely be disappointed. It's almost like those people who say that, you should watch the prequel stuff in the middle of watching, the original 3 Star Wars movies to get a
Mm,
like a
sure.
almost like a flashback thing. Genuinely, I think you should start with Chronicles of Riddick and then watch Pitch Black as like a prequel idea. So something that I noticed while watching this, I mean, granted, we have seen this multiple times. I know
Yes,
I
we
own
have.
it, our parents own it, but something that I noticed about this is that it felt like I was watching one really long video game cutscene.
I even wrote down because I know that there are video games that this is based on, and like and vice versa. Like they made video games from this, and vice. But I bet the video games were probably pretty fun because the movie it is like a long video game. I'm like, yeah, the movie's pretty fun. I bet the video games are pretty fun.
So I have played Butcher Bay, which is kind of
They
like
reference it, yes.
it is very fun. It's sort of like an Assassin's Creed thing where it's a stealth game, but you're in a more like a Doom-esque prison. It's very fun, but it genuinely does feel like you are just watching someone make a movie out of a video game. Like there's even de facto levels in this where you start
Mm-hmm.
out in New Mecca and then you go to Crematoria and then you're
Sure.
on, you know, Underverse Prime or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
really
absolutely.
feels almost intentional that.
And going along with the kind of macho-y, bro-y, like Fast and Furious vibes, some of the I mean, you and I either quoted or laughed at them, but like the fucking insulting where he brings a four-man crew or whatever. There's so many of those kinds of lines that like
What was that
if
fucking
anyone
Tombs
else
line?
if anyone else said most of these lines, I'd be like, okay, this is dumb. But because it's in this world and because it's Vin Diesel with his voice saying it, I'm like, okay, it kind of works. Like it's dumb,
Yeah.
but I enjoy it.
I would say that like This is the same kind of like attitude characters in that
Mm-hmm.
you'd find in something like Gears of War.
Yes,
Like
I can
it's a
see that.
very similar musclehead dialogue, I
Yes.
guess if you would say. But to your point, it works because everyone talks like that. There's
Yes.
no quote unquote normal person in this movie. So the fact that everyone commits to the bit makes it work, I think.
Well, there's a few people in it that I'm like, I don't. So I like her character, but Dame Judy Dench, I'm like, she doesn't really need to be in this. Like her character doesn't really add a whole lot. I mean, there's some backstory for Furia for Riddick, but
I
I
think
don't
her
know. I don't
character
think she's
does need to
needed.
be here, but I do agree that she is definitely out of place.
Well, and even the Arbiter,
Keith David,
he's really the only thing that bridges the gap between Pitch Black. Like without
absolutely. Well, I
that, I'm
mean,
like, oh, there's no
so
reason. Okay,
once we meet up with Kira in the crematoria jail, there's some back and forth about that,
some.
but it's not super necessary.
Well, again, that's why I'm like, you could just totally watch this and not really know anything about Pitch Black because there's enough of a flashback and an understanding that, like, oh, you can get it. You don't need it.
For sure.
The weapons, I kind of forgot that they were like sort of gravity based, wherever
Oh
you want
yeah,
to look at the. Very cool, very interesting. I like that the necromonger, whatever dudes, the costuming was sort of medieval esque.
I mean, so we're gonna probably say this in several different ways throughout the review here, but this is a visuals first, plot later movie,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I love the way that the necromongers are designed here. They definitely look like medieval knights in
Hmm.
space.
Yes.
It's so incredibly cool.
And leading into the whole, oh, it's just for the visuals and less for the story, just the idea and the concept and how they actually made, and we watch, behind the scenes stuff, but the whole world of crematoria where, oh, all this is molten lava, all of this is ice. Just a cool set design, but also like, oh, it's a cool story design.
Yeah, I really love just. I mean, I'd say just the way it looks over and over again, but just especially when we get on to Necrotoria. Necrotoria Prime is not the name of the ship, but like
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
main villain ship. The inside is like Gothic Romanism. It's super cool. There's like these really grotesque statues all over the place. It's so awesome.
For one, I like the Riddick fit. The whole like goggle, tank top, like army
Hmm.
pants with the like random armbands or whatever. I'm like, I think he looks fucking sick. And I look
He
at
does.
like, okay, Vin Diesel at that age, no, this makes total fucking sense. And even the sequel, he is Grant a little older, and I think it's still workable, it's still fine. But that they're making another one, I'm like, I think he's gonna look weird because
I think he's gonna look too
so
old.
well, just so much of this is his physicality, and I don't think he's gonna. I mean, he might like you can work out till your muscle bound him, but he's still gonna look. I think he's gonna look too old. Is really the problem.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think I don't love about the looks is the main bad guy's whole helmet
Are you joking?
multi. I think it's so
I
dumb
think it
looking.
looks so cool.
I think that's okay. A, the actual helmet itself, very dumb. And then B, when he takes it off, he's got this weird widow's peak chainmail thing.
I think it looks sick.
I think it looks I mean, to each their own. I think it looks dumb. I think that this being kind of a holy war to a certain degree, when you think about it, about it's, I mean, they really lay it out when all like they go to the townspeople, they're like, oh, convert or die. All they're like, we won't pronounce our religion. So he pulls the guy's soul out of his body. I'm like, so it's religious war. So okay, did they want to reference like is this like a Christianity thing? Is this a Dune-esque thing where it's the holy war that gets started by Paul Atreides? Like
I mean,
I wonder because obviously yes, it's an original idea, but where did they get, like, what kind of, I wonder what influences took them to make space knights that were doing a crusade, for a lack of a better word.
I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, they copied Halo, but genuinely, that is kind of the plot of at least the first two Halo movies, of the
Sort
first two
of.
Halo games.
It's sort of, yeah.
But I think that also just kind of speaks to the way that a lot of popular culture was back in the early 2000s. You know, you have things like Halo, you have things like this, like Gears of War, you have overtly masculine to the point of being ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, and when you accept that it's ridiculous, it's much more enjoyable. So again, I think you and I both rated this highly because we accept it for what it is. So if you're going into this
Yeah.
thinking this is some highbrow, like the bit where he dumps water all over himself, rescues Cat from, like, basically the sun, and he's, covered in steam, and he stands up looking like a badass. I'm like, yes, it's ridiculous, and he definitely would have been like that little bit of water on his skin wouldn't have fucking mattered at all.
No.
So yes, I think most of this movie is accepting the ridiculousness.
Yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. I don't have a whole ton of notes. I do
Some of
think
the
that if you're
Go ahead.
going to watch this, which I think we'll probably recommend people watch this, you have to watch the extended version. Like, I know we've said that, in passing a couple times. There is so much added that is actually important to fleshing out a complete plot here. It's head and shoulders better than the theatrical version. You get all of the Furia backstory. There's more scenes with the Purifier, which is a character that is fairly important. There's
Mhm.
a bunch more going on. All the action sequences are still going to be there in the theatrical ones, but it's not a complete movie.
To be honest, I don't know if I've ever seen, like, I don't remember the theatrical, so I don't remember the difference because I don't remember not watching it at the house. I don't, because I didn't see it in theaters, so I think I've only seen the extended that we bought.
Yeah.
So what else? Let's see. There's I'd have to look. I don't remember the track specifically. Oh, I think it's Entry into Helion or something like that. Some of the music is really, really good.
I've tried to find it before when I've shared it through like Instagram stories or whatever, and I can't find it. But yes, it is. Again, I brought up Halo before, but like it is similar in the way that like Halo almost has a like tribal drum feel to it. Sometimes it almost feels like
Hmm.
science fiction safari.
Yeah, I'm looking at the album on Spotify, like Arrival at Helion,
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
I would also say that like this goes a long way, and it's brought up in the behind the scenes thing that we watch as well. But like, it is very evident that they wanted to make sure that nothing could be mistaken for being filmed on Earth. They really
Yes,
drove home the fact that we're going to be on a lava planet, and then we're going to be on a giant holy planet with all these weird architecture and this, that, and the other. Something that has always frustrated me about specifically Return of the Jedi is that it very clearly they're just filming in the woods for a lot of Endor, and this
sure.
foregoes that problem.
Does it bucket?
I think so. I mean, you could definitely, mm, you know, get a replica of one of the Necromonger's ships. You could put popcorn in that. You could definitely get his helmet. You could get
I
a
was thinking
popcorn
about this, and
bucket
I
that
think
has like Riddick's like backwards knife things that double as brass knuckles on the side where they use as handles.
what I think the question should be reshaped that we ask every week. Because yes, sometimes it's going to be a bucket, but sometimes, like, oh, some movies may not have a bucket, but they have really straightforward merchandising. I'm like, dude, I would own a pair of goggles. Those are fucking awesome. So,
I fear I would buy those goggles and then just look like I'm wearing swimming goggles.
nah, well, just either way, I think yes, what your ideas definitely work, but also I'm like, yes, they could probably just sell Riddick goggles at the theater, and I'd probably buy a pair.
Sure. Well,
That's kind of all I got.
how do we feel about both Carl Urban and Thandie Newton in this?
Who's the
So
second? Is
Vaco and Dame Vaco.
I've not. I'm fine with Carl Urban. I think he plays the part that he is given well. I always find his haircut to be ridiculous, but that's part of the character.
It's not ridiculous in universe, I don't think.
No, and I think parts of her character I think work because they push the plot of like she's the ambitious one in the couple, realistically, and she's kind of one that causes the chain of events of everything.
Sure.
But as a character, I don't know. I can't stand her. I don't know if that's an act. I also am not a huge fan of Kat in a lot of or Kira or whatever her fucking name is either.
I think she's fine.
Eh,
My issue, and this is, with the best respect to Fanny Newton in 2004, I don't think she's attractive enough. She's supposed to be like this exotic beauty who
oh yeah,
gets
like Vin
Riddick
Diesel's
to
like, oh,
walk
last
into the.
I haven't smelled beautiful in so long. I'm like, she's
I'm
not
like,
even that
she's
beautiful.
not ugly, but she's not that pretty.
No. And granted, I don't know what other the quote unquote options were at that time, but maybe that was the right choice, obviously, for them when they hired her.
Yeah. I do like her like snakeskin suit that she wears throughout the majority of the movie. I think it drives home the fact that she's untrustworthy because she's literally a
Sure.
snake.
I do like the bits when he's sort of quote unquote undercover within the Necromonger Prime or whatever, where he's in their garb, but then like they get the little cuts of him, his eyes. It's always such a small detail that they started in Pitch Black that makes the story of Pitch Black, but
Sure.
it's I don't know, just a cool little detail for a character that not defines him, but to a certain degree defines him. There's a couple times throughout the movie where they switch between, oh, he's got goggles on, goggles off, and they show his point of view. Pretty
Hmm.
cool. Pretty cool.
There's I mean, obviously there's quite a lot of CG going on here, but there's less than I thought there would be for set extensions and stuff like that. There's a lot more physically built than I would have assumed, especially on Crematoria.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah,
so
either
much of
some of
that
it being
lava world
miniatures or
is
yes,
actually there. I had no idea. I mean, I guess it makes sense that they would still be doing miniatures, but I guess I'm so used to assuming everything is a green screen these days that seeing something be done with miniatures is surprising.
sure. And granted, this was 20 years ago at this point, but yes.
Yeah, that is hard to remember. Well, I think we're gonna move on into what we've watched, what we're looking forward to, things of that nature.
Well, this has been a light week for me. I've been away,
It's been a
so
light week for me as well, unfortunately.
I watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Both are great. They've obviously changed animation pretty heavily once they came out. Just in general, I think it's a enough of a like tribute to the original Spider-Man story, but also doing their own thing that where it's still actually interesting.
Sure.
I watched obviously the Chronicles of Riddick. I watched the Bob's Burgers movie, which I've seen it before.
Hadn't you seen it? Yeah, I was gonna say.
I've been casually watching episodes here and there just as in the background kind of thing. I was like, yeah, maybe I should just put on the movie that way I can at least log it. Because I can't obviously log episodes of this show, and it's all about the logging, of course.
But I thought you'd already seen it.
I have.
Oh, okay.
And again, I think the reason why the show works so well is because those stories are so good in like 25 minutes. When you
Yeah.
do, I think it's great for them that they got to do like a full length movie for those both like all the cast and crew involved to make something like that. I think that's cool, but you can I don't know, it feels like it's not meant for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then this afternoon, evening time, whatever you want to call it, I watched The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I've seen it before. I kept getting Instagram reels that were like, "Hey, look at this cool cut of all the cool parts." I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. I should rewatch this." And I'm like, "Oh, that reel was all of the cool parts." So much of it is really dumb, and part of most of that is because the main character Lucas Black, who plays Sean Boswell, it's like the whole fish out of water. A guy from Alabama gets sent to Tokyo. It's rough. Some of it's pretty fucking rough.
Mhm.
Some of the racing pretty cool, and main thing that draws me to it and wants me to kind of maybe watch some of the other ones because I feel like it's been a long time is all the stuff with Han, who is played by Sung Kang. If you see him, you would recognize him. He's done a couple of the other Fast and Furious. He did Mystery Men years ago. He voiced someone in Raya: The Last Dragon, and he's got a new movie coming out called Drifter. It
Okay.
just sounds interesting, and I also am working through the last little bit of Andor season 2. It's fantastic. It's also kind of rough to watch because again, it's so well made that like it's yeah. Oh god, it shows the how so. I feel like the movies show the really broad strokes of resistance versus whatever the regime is, if that's the First Order, if that's the Empire, if that's the Sith, whatever. Whereas Andor really goes into small, like, oh, this is how they're like political corruption and how this is how propaganda actually works, and like the Empire stoking rebellions that way they can have proof of like, oh, we need to arm ourselves more because the rebels are doing this huge like aggressive protest when really the Empire is like paying snipers to act at it's very good. It's just rough to watch. Either way, that's what I watched this week. Hayden, what did you watch? What did you want to see? That kind of stuff.
So